We just saw season 2, episode 21 of Gilmore Girls, and Carrie said, wow, at the end. This is my
And
925th time watching. I'm Chemda.
I'm Carrie. This is my very first time ever watching it, and wow, I stand by that.
Carrie had all the responses. Now, because we're on a screen here, I'm not sure, Carrie, when you know I'm staring at you, but when I did stare at you, when I did the, is she going to see this? Is she going to react like I think, or like I know, or like we all did, all the Gilmore friends? And you did. It was not disappointing. We both teared up at the same time, and at the same time that everybody, I believe, tears up in this episode. I love it. Once again, she said, wow, here we go. The title is Lorelai's Graduation Day.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Very straightforward. Like sometimes they go for like a cute, fun, you know, relating to a movie and like there's reference and stuff. And sometimes it's just
It's just very
Lorelai's
straightforward.
graduation
Like, yeah,
day.
they got lazy. They
Yeah.
finished. They were done writing at that point, and they're like, just name it what it is.
Right.
Just want to give a quick reminder for people to subscribe. If you are not subscribed, go click that subscribe button. We do lives sometimes, and you can hear about them if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What would
Meanwhile,
you
for
have
this
called
one,
this episode?
okay, I have 3. I'm not in love with any. I'm not in love with any of them. I just need to let it out. It's not like it's not a flex at all. It might
Okay.
I might even be shooting myself in the foot for telling too many because it's like we get it, dilute the subject. All right. So, here they are with maximum confidence from me instead of putting myself down. The first one is lovesick.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right, because I love Rory's response at the end. The second one is Jess called again because it's a callback to when I called the other episode, Dean called again.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. A
Okay.
callback to your own alternative titles. Okay.
That's right.
I love it. I love
And
it.
then and then the last one is skeet shooting because it is representative of a few scenes, not many, but a few very short scenes where I was like, what did that mean to the whole story? I feel like
I
everyone
have thoughts
got a
on that. Like
little
why
part.
we had Dean speaking in the beginning of this episode. I have thoughts on that too.
Like Dean had like this, weird part. Paris had this weird part. Sookie almost had the weird part, but like, yeah, there were a lot of why was this scene an entire scene moments,
Yeah.
right? We'll get to it.
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
get to it.
Wow.
I named it Port Authority
Oh,
and New York City hot dog. These were the highlights for me.
I loved
Was
your
like
response to the New York stuff.
Rory's in Port Authority in the early 2000s. Okay. Yeah, she'll survive. But yeah, so could we get into like okay.
Yes.
We get into it. A few things happen before the credits even roll. We
But
find out
like also nothing because it's another part of this scene is Lane also gets like a little bitty part, just like Dean, just like Paris.
so is it like the actors are contractually supposed to have a certain number of lines per season and now it's the end of the season because everybody was in this episode? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
100% of the cast who's ever been on the show was in this episode.
it sort of felt like a finale kind of,
Yes.
right?
Like
Yeah.
everybody who's ever like, it wasn't an episode where we're like, well, I guess Paris wasn't in this one. Jess was in it. Dean was in it. Lane was in it. We didn't see Lane's mom, or did we?
No, we didn't. No.
All right. So not everybody was in it, but like,
Right.
it was pretty, everybody had at least a line in this episode.
And not all the lines were important. Like Lane, all she said was, Lorelai, can I use your pots and pans again for drumming? So we know that she's continuing to drum and practice. And
she's holding her drumsticks.
And it's so cute to me that her origin story is I used to ask the neighbor / best friend / surrogate mom to bang on her pots and pans as a teenager, not a 2-year-old.
Right.
in order for me to learn the drums. That is how strict my upbringing was. What a VH1 behind the
I
scenes
know. That's a
for the
perfect,
ages. Not that
exactly.
that's what it feels like while you're going through it. While you're going through it, you're like, oh my God, this sad story of mine, like, why?
No,
But
I've done some shows where I'm like, I can't wait to get fame because I'd done a show in a basement that was literally dripping sewage onto the stage. And I thought to myself in that moment, I can't wait till I'm a big famous star and I can tell this story because I am doing comedy in sewage.
I feel like sometimes it's all you have as like a hope
Yeah.
mechanism.
I'm like, one day this will be my origin story.
I
Like, this
hope
has to
this
be for
means
something.
Yeah.
And because I made it big as a big famous stand-up comedian, I can now tell that story proudly and not that was an omen of what's to come for my
There
comedy
it is.
career. There it
You
is.
used it for good right
Yeah.
here on Gilmore Friends.
So they end up at Sookie. So Lorelai's like, there's a new place for breakfast. They can't go to Luke's because Lorelai and Luke are on the outs. So where are they going for breakfast? Where's this place? Are they going out of town? Blah, blah, blah. They end up at Sookie's.
Wait, but like, why is it that Rory's like, we've walked miles? Now, of course, she's exaggerating, but it's like, where is this in another town? Aren't they neighbors? Haven't they walked to each other?
Yeah,
So
they walk to the other side of the gazebo. And she's
basically,
like,
right?
yeah,
Everything's on the other side of the gazebo.
Rory's just being a little whiny bitch because she wants to go to Luke's. And that's
But
it.
also, and she can. That's the thing. It was Lorelai who was a jerk in
Once
that one.
again, this is before school. I'm sorry. It blows my mind every time. It'll never stop being a thing for me.
Yes.
That like everyone is awake and dressed and having an event before school starts. Okay.
Except for ironically, the farmer Jackson.
Yes, Jackson the farmer.
Who is a later in the day farmer. One of those.
Yeah. Jackson is well, you know what? He's a plant farmer and not an animal farmer. So plant farmers.
Oh, do tell. Hello.
If you got to milk the cows, you're up at dawn. But if you just have to pick the vegetables, you can just do that whenever. I don't know anything about farming.
Okay.
I don't know.
It
I made
didn't
that
sound
entirely.
like you did. Okay.
But it sounds right. It sounds right. Like the cows, like you have to feed them.
In all fairness, I even got that idea from the internet. A lot of people's response, and I was going to say this, a lot of people's response was, but he's a farmer. So why is he? And to me, Jackson and Sookie are cartoon characters.
Yeah.
What is this personality that they give them where one of them is a little cuckoo, like every time? She yelled at people. It's like, it's so not like them, and then it's like them, but they're just...
Well, it's opposites attract. They're cute. I found that Jackson was the most relatable person in this whole episode. I am also not a morning person. I relate to Jackson in this scene. He is grunting. He did not want company that morning, I'll tell you that.
I don't think
when
he ever
Sookie was
does.
like, Lorelai and Rory are coming over for breakfast, he was like, in his head, he was like, oh, to the hell no. And then they still showed up, all chirpy. Before school.
My whole family used to know, don't bother talking to her before noon. Because I would just grunt at people. I did not open my mouth until afternoon.
Yeah, no.
Now, for school days, I had to, but if I had morning stuff, it just wasn't cool. Now, it's weird. I'm a little more of a morning person. And I gotta say, all those people who were like, oh, but mornings are so great. It's everything they said it would be.
I know.
I didn't do this on purpose. I didn't hack my morning. I had a morning routine, but that's only because hey, I'm waking up before life starts usually. And it's everything they say. But you can't force it.
I discovered mornings were beautiful when I worked the overnight shift and I would get off work at 6 a.m. and come home from work at 6 a.m. and the city was beautiful. Just gorgeous. Sunrise, calm.
The air is different.
Air is crystallized. It's just this beautiful, serene. And I was like, nope, time for bed. Getting off work.
Mm-hmm.
Got to sleep till 2 p.m. because I got to work the night shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, so no, being up early is a beautiful thing, but I don't do it often. I can't. And if I do, I'm still Jackson. Even if I get out of bed at 5, I'm still like Jackson.
That's the thing.
6.
I wouldn't, because we make our own schedule and we just have to make sure we get the hours of work, I wouldn't push the morning thing. As cool as it is, if it didn't come to me as a gift, every time I tried pushing it, it was like you said, it was like, well, I've been useless this whole time anyway, and since I wake up at night, I would just work until later. And it's like, well, why don't I work when my brain works? So
Yeah.
I don't think people should push it
No, do what
if they
you want to
can.
do. Are we
Yeah.
telling people what to do now? We should. We're so smart. And both of us completely have our lives together. So we can be the authority on how other people should do their lives. That's what I think.
All right.
So
So the Jordan almonds versus the aspirin. I remember Jordan almonds. They stopped doing that.
they stopped doing Jordan almonds?
Do they still do that?
Oh, you can still get them, yeah,
No,
for
I mean,
sure.
do you always find them at weddings and events anymore?
Sometimes,
Oh,
not as
really?
much as I used to, yeah.
I feel like it used to be a
Because,
thing, but I don't know that anyone ate them.
I mean, I always ate them. They're
Yeah?
good. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I would eat those over aspirin.
She's just an alcoholic. She just knows what to do. I mean, we're gonna party. We're gonna need aspirin.
We're gonna need aspirin, but you also need protein when you wake up. So you need some Jordan almonds and some aspirin.
Green juice,
And like a Gatorade.
a
And
yoga
like
class.
and like a Bloody Mary. And like, yeah. So then we have opening titles. I see we've agreed that in season 3 I'm not to watch the opening titles because I saw that Seth MacFarlane was in this episode in the opening credits, and I was like, I gotta stop watching the opening. So new rule for season 3, I will hold my hand up and not see the special guests because
I think we have one more in this season, and I think you should hold your hand up for that lot. Just practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Seth MacFarlane thing, not that that's like a big,
I
but
know,
then
but
you
then I'm
start
waiting
looking
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I hear you. And like, I don't know
Cover
why we
up.
didn't come up with this sooner because this has been an
Right.
ongoing issue with the opening titles.
Yeah.
So I will not, but I did know from the opening credits that like Seth MacFarlane's in this. What the hell? But then we go to the Gilmore
I have
household.
a little bit of trivia about that later on. So
Okay.
anyway, okay.
We find out that Lorelai is studying for finals, but finals not just of this semester, but of her whole schooling. She's graduating. Isn't that exciting? And they talk about whether or not she can invite her parents. And she says, I really don't want them there. And Rory has a light bulb over her head, and she's like, okay, wink.
Well, Lorelai was very specific about this, and she said, I was supposed to graduate from high school and go to Vassar, marry a Yale man. She goes on later to say the 2 proudest people in the world, and I humiliated them. I spoiled their plans. I broke their hearts, and they'll never forgive me. Now, can we just say that we understand where she gets this idea from?
Totally.
And that she's not really wrong, at least right now.
Right.
So,
I think she's not wrong, but that doesn't necessarily mean they wouldn't want to come.
I understand, but like if Rory can remember when she was stuck at the grandparents' house because it was snowing, and she found the book of memories of pictures, and when she got to that part of Lorelai's life, Emily and Richard changed the subject and felt humiliated. And Richard has yelled recently at Lorelai about how much he was humiliated and how her mother couldn't get out of bed. That time in their lives, I could understand why she wouldn't want to trigger that with them.
Yeah, totally.
So maybe
it
they
made
wouldn't
sense.
want to
I
come.
don't think I would want them there either. Like I'm with Lorelai on the impulse to be like, just let's keep them out of it. I'll tell them I graduated. They'll be happy for me or not, but like, don't make them like go through this again, Or
True.
don't like.
I just can see Emily on a Friday night, like, what'd you do last week? Oh, I graduated. And it's like, and you didn't even think to tell me I needed to like she couldn't do the proper uh, uh ceremonial, like I would have prepared a special dinner tonight. I would have, gotten a card for you. I would have done what's supposed to be done when a family member graduates. Like
Right. Well, you're
you
going to
robbed
do
me
all
of
that.
my job.
You're going to do all that for Rory.
Mm,
And it's going to be fine. Because like
right.
Lorelai has already messed up her, like the coming out, the debutante. She messed up the graduate, like all of the milestones that you wanted for Lorelai, you were just going to throw them onto Rory now. And
You're
we're all going to
right.
be fine. Yeah. It's going to
Yeah.
be fine. And like
Okay.
Lorelai's already messing up all of the protocols for their fancy rich life by getting pregnant. You know, that ship has sailed. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
she's just going to have to do it with Rory.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think we all understand Lorelai's point of view here. And I think she was right later in saying that they never say no to Rory.
that's right.
But
Yeah.
first we have to learn about skeet shooting for some reason.
Okay, here's what I think the skeet shooting the scene was about. I wrote,
Okay.
uh, let's see, Dean skeet shooting explainer. Um, it's to show that he's not mad because the last time we saw him,
Oh.
he was being so weird. I
Oh,
thought he
and to
was
show
being
they're just
weird.
a loving couple right now,
It's to
regular.
show that they're back to their like regular
Mm.
banter and like he's not holding a grudge and like all is forgotten to the point where he's like explaining skeet shooting.
Okay, so Lane, we had to know she's continuing to drum. Dean,
Yes.
we had to know that Rory and Dean's relationship was doing well.
Yes.
Oh, especially since Rory gets on a bus. Like, I thought it was
Right,
going
right. Yeah,
well
so we
to
need to
get that.
establish they're not at odds.
Right, right. And by the way, skeet shooting sounds great and I want to do it.
Okay, let's go do it.
It sounds wonderful. It doesn't sound like anyone gets hurt.
Have you ever
And
fired a shotgun in your life?
no, but I did like those little duck hunt thingies with at the arcade, and it seems fun.
Okay, it's basically that. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we could
I've
do it with like not shotguns, because I'm bad at it's not that I'm bad at the gun thing. I shot guns as a thing to do. Like, oh, let's go bowling. Let's go
yeah,
shoot guns.
I did that. There's a place in
So
Chelsea. There's a gun range in Chelsea. I went there with a couple girls.
oh, I was not in New York.
Oh, we found one in New York, in
Oh,
Manhattan. If you tell me there's one in New
oh,
York City, I would have assumed like, Whitestone, you know?
oh
I
yeah.
I wouldn't have assumed like Chelsea. Like this is in New York. It was on 20 something street. There is a
Or
gun
maybe
range.
maybe I would have thought like, you know how you get so far in Queens that you pass the subway stations and
Yeah.
you think you're in Long Island, but somehow you're not?
Yeah, where the towns
There.
like towns you've never heard of, you're like, where the hell is like Treeville? Like I've never heard of this town. Like I've lived here my whole life. Like yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, you went shooting.
So here's what I think that I'm gonna get reamed if this is not correct. My
Oh,
understanding is a rifle is a single bullet, but a shotgun is like a package of like tiny little bullets. Not bullets, but like of little like pellets.
you're getting the thumbs up from our producer.
Oh, our
So
producer gave you the thumbs up because
yes,
he knows his
yes.
guns.
He does.
So when you
Somehow,
shoot,
I don't
so when the disc goes up and you shoot a shotgun, it's not like you're aiming. It's like it's easier to hit it.
Oh, you're spraying. You're spraying.
You're spraying.
Yes.
Yes. It's the difference on a nozzle, like
You got the
on
spray signal too,
the
so we're
spray
good.
versus
Yeah.
the shoot a
Yes.
line. So that is my understanding about why. Because I'm like, skeet shooting looks impossible, and people are always doing it and having a ball. I'm like, how do they hit it? And then someone explained the shotgun sprays like little pieces of
Good. I need the
buckshot.
help. I can't
Buckshot?
just.
Ask if buckshot's the right term.
Is buckshot getting thumbs up to like medium? So you got like a medium well.
Okay. So that's been gun talk with Carrie. That's all I know about guns. And like a Derringer's a little one. That's it. That's all I got. So I would like to go skeet shooting with you as well.
Yay!
Let's put that on the list of another thing that you and I do together and take no photos of.
My God, we are gonna have so many. Oh my God, we're like this time we're taking photos.
This time we're taking photos and we don't do it because we're like, let's live in the moment and not. Yeah,
we have one, so it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's why I think Dean was in this scene to just illustrate that like all is good, right?
Yeah, that's so right. Especially with her running away and whatever. Okay.
Right.
So then we have the moment of Luke. in this
Yes.
episode. He gets a few lines.
Luke gets a few lines in this episode.
So we know that he doesn't want it. So now we're just getting that he doesn't want to talk.
Yes.
And Lorelai does want to, but he's like, nah.
Right. Lorelai has sent a very small olive branch, like, hey, do you think? And he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So that's establishing he's still mad.
Yes.
And not ready to talk about it.
But not like yelling mad, just like, hey, can I just not with
I'm
you
not
right
ready
now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's fair. You yelled at him. He gets time. And was it weird? Is it my imagination, or was she wearing a sweatshirt that was very close to the Rachel sweatshirt?
Oh.
First time I noticed that.
That is eagle-eyed. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was interesting to me.
And she can sew her own clothes, so she just made herself a Rachel sweatshirt.
Wow, you took it to like, what was that? What was that movie? Roommate Wanted, or Single White Female.
Roommate Wanted? Yes, I took it all the way to Roommate Wanted. It was a thriller about finding a roommate.
Yo, I just recently saw it like in the last year or two.
Oh, really? I should rewatch it.
Oh, it is so frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about tea time at the grandparents real quick?
Can I play? Am I invited to tea time at Grandma and Grandpa's? Please, please.
Rory shows up and she's like, good to see you, come in. And we see that tea has been set up. And Beatrice is English, so she can set up English tea. And she gets yelled at for not putting...
No one else can figure out
no
English
one else can
tea.
do this. And she gets yelled at for not putting doilies in the right place, which I'm with Emily on this. You need doilies for everything for a tea time. If you are confused about whether or not to put a doily, the answer is yes. Just over doily. You can't over doily a tea time.
The thing is Emily is in a world of Emily. And so, yes, of course, in Emily world, you doily line the plates. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, seriously. I'm with Emily on this. Beatrice really screwed this up. However, they sit down.
Wait, but like, is it not hilarious that Richard runs from his office? And they make it seem like he actually physically ran, which no. But he runs from his office for this very important meeting. Doesn't he know how to conference call? This is crazy. And also what I noticed is there are seat arrangements for tea time that are different than dinner time.
Yes, of course. Yes.
You're sitting close to each other.
Because there's only 3 of them. Yes, they're having company. He can't sit at the head of the table for tea. I don't know. I mean, he could have. He probably should have. I don't know.
Well, this is a proper tea because this is an actual English service.
And you and I have talked about how we still need to do a tea time. And now that you're living back in my county, we can go find one. When you and I become millionaires and can afford a proper, actual, real tea time, and you and I both wear high heels, and it's going to be a day. I don't know. We need a sponsor. Somebody sponsor us for tea time.
No, I figure we just make our own tea. We
have to go.
Oh, okay. Because I don't like cream cheese, and I'm afraid everything will have cream cheese.
You need your pearls. Do you have a pearl necklace?
Of course not.
All right. I inherited a couple. I'll lend you one. It's fine.
Are you joking?
I have a pearl necklace. Of course I do. Of course. I look that way because that's where it is. It's in there. All right.
Oh my God. Okay.
So, here's what I don't understand about this scene. They all sit down. Richard, Emily, Rory are sitting there. And she goes, Beatrice, the tea. And Rory says, Beatrice, hold off on the tea for a second. Why? Why can't they have this conversation over tea?
That's the whole point, right? But I feel like it's Rory pretending to be an adult. It's almost like she's having tea with her dolls. And she's like, it's like almost like hold my calls for a moment. Let me get this.
She just wanted to feel authoritative.
Yes. You notice, she called Emily by her name.
That's what it is. She wants to be the authority. She is the meeting holder. So she can make the demands, even if the demands make no sense.
It was like she had a gavel,
Right. And she's saying, this is too important for tea. Tea can wait. I have to speak first. So she gives a very lovely speech.
Focus. Yes.
She gives a
Actually, it was
lovely
a
speech.
lovely speech. It
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
it was tough but fair.
Mm.
And she hands them tickets, which I wrote down, like, use the tickets or don't, but it's not assigned seating. This is general seating.
It is, and I also the one thing that I couldn't get past every time I think it, and I shouldn't say it because it's stupid, but how many tickets do you get? Because
Oh,
we got
yeah.
like 2
Yeah.
if
For
you're
my
lucky.
graduation, you get two, and everyone else has to wait in the parking lot.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
there's people meeting you after, maybe. I think only my mom went. No, maybe my
Yeah. I
mom and
think
my
we
best
got
friend.
four, and like people were trading them and stuff. People were like,
Yeah.
I don't have a family. And they'd start crying, and you'd be like, great. Can I have your tickets?
Yeah, it was a hot commodity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Um,
my best friend, because she went to a different school. It was my mom and my best friend. My father didn't attend school things, and that wasn't
because they're
weird.
boring. It's not, I'm with your
Yeah, it
dad. They're
wasn't like
boring.
on TV where it's like, "Where's papa?" I was like, "Yeah, this is what mom does. Whatevs."
Yeah.
And the fact that like dad's at work is why mom could even be here. So thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Like, I still graduate, you know?
I know. I don't like graduation. I
They
think
should
they're
make them a little
boring.
more interesting.
I
But
know.
how?
I mean, you have to be like protesting the keynote speaker or something, you know?
But that's dull in a different way.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. So
Ugh.
there's really no way.
So maybe that's why they keep it to 2 tickets, like, "We're doing you the favor.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it."
Yeah. Which I'm surprised Emily and Richard came. They should have been like, "Oh, thank you, sweetie. They're too boring." Like they know. They're
Uh,
old.
yeah, but they're doing what other people do when they're bored out of their mind. They're talking
They just do
smack.
it. Yeah.
They're
I mean,
just like,
my
"The guest speaker, they couldn't get anyone." It's like, "All right, man, where do
yeah.
you think you are?"
My grandmother came to my high school graduation, and like we went out to lunch after, and I was beaming because I was so excited and happy,
Mm.
and she was like, "It's a good feeling, isn't it?" And I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah, it really, oh, I'm getting teary remembering grandma." And just
that's
that
really
simple like
nice.
moment of like, like you did great, you know.
Hmm.
Aw. So
Oh,
we
sorry. At my high school graduation, I was annoyed because my mother didn't let me pick what I wore under my gown, even though I'm graduating and about to be a fully grown adult, supposedly.
what did
So
you wear
that
under your
was my
gown?
feeling. It was a dress that she thought would be appropriate. I wanted to wear jeans, and she's like, "Who wears jeans? Animals." So, like, because
Animals wear
no,
jeans?
she didn't say that, but it was very much like, this is a this is a real event, and for a real event, you must dress up. I think I might have even wore tights. Like,
Oh wow.
I just wanted to be myself under there. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, clutching her pearls over it, and she was not wearing pearls.
Oh.
So that was the vibe at my high school
Oh.
graduation. Yes.
I absolutely do not remember what I was wearing under the gown. Probably a
Oh,
dominatrix suit. I was 17 after all.
a little spike collar.
Yeah,
Mm,
keeps it
mhm,
interesting.
mhm, mhm.
Okay, so we get back home. Lorelai is done with finals,
And
which
drunk.
I also acknowledge is a wonderful feeling. The feeling of being done with finals is an endorphin rush that I if there was an element of school that I missed, it would be that moment, the moment you are done. Last day of school, last day of finals, the last regents you'll ever take, the SAT
Mm,
being done, the endorphins of being done with it
yeah.
is huge. Finishing the big project, whatever. So Lorelai is getting drunk. It's great. She made a pitcher of margarita,
Mhm.
which I mean, it's gonna melt by the time you. It doesn't matter. The phone rings, and I'm like, "Who's on the phone? Who's on the phone?" For a second, I thought it was gonna be Chris because we've had a lot of Chris on the phone moments recently.
Plus,
Then I thought, "Oh,
we're having moments of everybody, so
and we're having
maybe.
moments, everybody." I also thought it might be Emily saying that she didn't want to come or
Oh,
something,
okay.
or saying like it was rude of you to ask. Like I thought it might be Emily like shaking things up. No, it's freaking Jess. Jess is freaking calling Rory, and Jess is homeless because he's calling from a payphone long distance.
But it was back when you didn't want people to like, you didn't want your authority, whoever was taking care of you, to have certain numbers on their bill.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
didn't want to be questioned about how the bill went up.
This was the era of phone cards, as we talked about the other day. I'm sure Jess is the kind of kid who would have a phone card. Prepaid phone cards were super in right now. So he called her from a payphone. You
Yeah,
can still
imagine
use.
it's long distance to a place where you can get on a bus and be there like in an hour.
Yeah,
It's long distance.
I know.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad we don't worry about long distance anymore? It's
Oh
amazing.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a to do.
And finding change.
Yeah,
Just,
I mean, no, we
yeah.
did phone cards, prepaid, and then you could talk until it ran out, and then you had to buy another one or refill it or whatever. It was still a hassle. So Jess calls. Rory, they don't really say much, but the point is that he called.
That was a very good conversation in terms of like the writers not, I don't know, it was so perfect. They
Yeah,
didn't
that
say
was how those
anything.
calls were. A boy
Yeah.
you liked called you, but he didn't say anything, but he called. So
Yeah.
then in real life, you would call up Lane and do a play by play of every tone, every
Mhm.
word. He called. What did he say here? What did he say here? No, I just said this.
Did
And
he
then he
say that
paused.
first or did he say this
Yeah.
first? What did you
Yeah.
say to that?
Did you ask where he was? I didn't even ask where he was. Did you ask? No, I
Yeah.
forgot to ask. I was just so shocked he called. The call took
Now you just
maybe.
send the receipts. You like screen cap your thing and you
Yeah, I
just go,
know.
this.
Yeah, I've gone over text messages in therapy where I'm like, you need to read this. Just go through it. But remember that feeling when a boy you have a crush on calls you, and even if he's just like, hey, just saying, what's up? And you'd be like, oh yeah, what's up? And then he's like, all right, gotta go. And you'd be like, all right, bye. And then you'd be like, oh my God. Ah! But she has no one to freak out to because she can't tell Lorelai.
Yeah, I
Because
feel like she should be able to tell Lane, but she kind of knows she's wrong. But she doesn't know yet. I think it's part of her speech at the end. I think she doesn't understand what's happening. And I understand that it's clear and I understand that it's like obvious, but I think it's her first time feeling this way.
yeah,
And I think it's a really good depiction of that because
yes,
because
yes.
everyone around you is going duh, and you're like, I
I
am
know, but
so confused.
it makes you lose your mind a little bit. I mean, it really does. And I think she can't call Lane because isn't Lane under house arrest?
Probably,
Isn't
usually.
Lane always like
It's
not allowed to use
late
the
or
phone? It's
something.
too late.
Yeah,
It's after 9, so she can't call. Um,
could be.
yeah, so she's got to keep all this in.
Yeah.
Then we get to Chilton, I think because Paris needs a minute.
Literal
Um,
minute.
and let's see, I Paris is being mean to faculty. That's what I wrote down.
This whole thing, I was gonna write her entire speech because it's really a monologue while she was walking next to Rory. But basically, she's talking to her advisor. She sees a half-eaten banana in the advisor's garbage, and she eviscerates her. Is
Yeah,
her words. And also her words, she was welling up at the end, but had the decency to hold it in. Paris is ruthless.
ice cold. Ice
That's why her
cold.
and Richard got along so well. They
Yeah.
know what, like, or at least there's a version of business that I feel like they agree with and see on the same level where it's like, oh, you're just you. Goodbye. Like,
Yeah. I
just
think
destruction.
Richard is warmer than Paris. But yes, they are all business when it's all business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this okay, so then Paris continues into school and Rory stands there looking off in the distance like she's got an idea. And I'm like, what the hell is she doing? What? And then I was like, wait, what did Paris just say? Because I figured Paris said something that set her off. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I thought Paris was just illustrating that she's being mean. And then Rory
Right.
looks off and I'm like, wait, what did she say? Like, I thought I missed it. No. Um,
I like that you thought that you missed it because they really did jump from like thing to thing and give you moments and
yeah,
yeah, it felt a little bit different. And I know there's always a different director and some of them repeat, but this did feel different.
yeah. It had a different vibe. It's true. Then we cut to at the inn. Um,
The tassel cake.
tassel cake. I think black icing is weird on a cake.
Oh, I thought it was chocolate.
Oh, I thought it was icing
Like,
or
it looked like dark
frosting.
chocolate. I don't know. I wasn't
Oh.
I was watching it and watching you, so I don't know, but it looked delicious.
I mean, I always wanna eat cake. I'm not opposed to it, but, yeah, it looked delicious. I wanted it. But we are back at the inn because Chris calls, or as you
Oh,
say,
yeah.
Christopher.
Christopher. Oh, you're not
Christopher.
at home, so I called you at your work.
I
Is it
called you at your work.
okay?
Did you get the basket I sent you? But
Mom, I
if
mean, Lorelai.
if this wasn't so laden with meaning, this is a pretty great
Yeah,
basket.
it's such a perfect
It's
basket.
such a perfect gift. Like, it's got
It's so good.
everything.
It
It's a
really
really
does.
good. It's very thoughtful.
It's got funny, cute, it's got sincere, it's got actual things that
It's
she
got
can
practical. Yeah,
use.
it's
Yes,
practical, sincere, romantic,
it's
puns.
perfect.
Yeah, a
Yeah, I
DVD of The
have the
Graduate.
list.
Oh, do
I
you?
have
Oh,
the
what's?
list.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so in the basket was a savings bond, adorable, youth
Practical,
hostel card, cute. What
practical,
color is your parachute? DVD of The Graduate, portable Nietzsche, application to join the armed forces, the velvet
hilarious.
box with a necklace and a real pearl, and a camera, which came in handy a couple of times. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the necklace is what's supposed to be confusing because that's too romantic and too special.
And where's
And
Sherry? Again, the question from the last episode is where's
where
Sherry?
is Sherry, and why is Christopher messing with Lorelai? Why is he messing with
Mm.
her head? Why would you send this? You know that she had a crushy crush on you the last time you saw her in person, right?
Yeah,
Was
but
him
she said she let all that stuff go now that she gets it.
whatever.
She
You still
said,
don't send a romantic
I
gift like
mean, they're
that.
both just idiots
They're
when they're
both just
around each other.
idiots.
You know,
Yep.
all that stuff that Rory said later in the episode, I'm sick, I don't know what I'm doing, it's not like me. That's them around each other and it
Oh, good
becomes
point.
like you.
Yes, they are
So,
mirrors of each other.
yes. And
Yeah.
Chris says, I think you're awesome, Lore. And I hate when he calls her Lore because
Yeah.
I think it's too familiar for someone you owe a lot to. So
Yeah.
anyway, stop being cute at her. I think you're awesome, Laura. Everything you do and raising Rory the way you did, I think you're superwoman.
I didn't like that he said did and not raising Rory the way you do
See,
because
I thought did was like, hey, I know I didn't like I'm acknowledging what you did when I couldn't.
yeah, there's still time. She's still being raised. You
She's
idiot.
not. She's done. She said it to
She's not
Max.
done.
She's almost 18 at this point.
I know, but the fact that he puts a button on it annoyed me
Yeah.
because I'm like, yep, like
fair.
wash your hands of it. Like, oh, she's done.
Listen, you found another thing that would annoy me about Quiz. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh.
No
So
redeeming qualities.
Then can we get to this? Okay. So then I think it cuts to Rory on a bus. And
Rory
I go
coming out of a bus.
out of a bus. And I'm like, no, no, no. And then we pull back and it says Port Authority, which is absolutely not the real Port Authority. But I was like, no, she didn't. She got on a bus and went to 8th Avenue. Like, how dare she? She
and
needs
then
to be
found
in school.
Washington Square from
Then
there.
she asks people how to find Washington Square Park. Somebody does tell her the actual directions, which is it is at the bottom of 5th Avenue. She's at 8th Avenue. She's got to walk east and then make a right. And then I don't know if she walked there. It's a ridiculously long walk, but she just comes up behind Jess.
Yeah.
First of all, how did she find him in Washington Park without?
It's not that big. If they're going to name a park, I'm glad they didn't say, Central Park because she could just get lost there.
That's true.
Washington Square Park is the
smaller.
park that
It is
you
much
can
smaller.
find someone in.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny.
And also, he's right. It's a cooler park. Although, Central Park is Central Park. But Washington Square is
Washington Square Park's one of the cooler parks in the
Yes.
city. That's true. But she should have, didn't she play chess with one of the chess guys there? Didn't she,
When?
What? When you walk to
Who?
Washington Square Park, you got to play chess with one of the guys.
Oh, I see.
And he's like, so I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, did they film it there? And then immediately, no, they are on a sound stage. This is not actual. I'm like, they did not have the budget to go to New York and get the permits to film in Washington Square Park. This is it's just like a tree and a bench and then like a sign. There's literally a sign behind the bench that says Washington Square Park. And I was so delighted by that. I was like, yes, a bench and a tree and a sign. And that is,
I mean, that
that's all you need.
is,
No,
yeah.
this
If
is,
you're good,
this is a
sure,
stage play. I love it. It's a
yeah.
suspension. Like, who cares? It's great.
But again, loved their interaction.
Yep.
I thought him taking her to the hot dog cart is cute. Her saying this is so good is just nauseating, but okay.
One thing I'm glad they didn't do that I see people do on TV, and they did it true to life on this show. The hot dog guy does not speak.
Hmm.
In real life, they do not speak. Or if they do speak, they don't have banter the way they do on TV. You know, like there's no like, he's like, what do you want? And you go, I want a hot dog. And he goes, everything? And you go, yeah. And then that's it. There's no back and forth. There's no pun on hot dog. Like on Seinfeld, the guy talks. No. So they did it true to life. The guy does not say a word. They get their hot dogs.
I think the most they do is, what do you want, my friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or boss or chief, you
Oh,
know, whatever.
boss or chief, depends on where they're from.
But they're not chit-chatting with you like they are on TV ever. So be prepared for that.
It's a double bonus because as an actor, for the people paying you, they don't have to pay you more.
Yeah, no.
Because as soon as you open your mouth.
No,
yeah.
He's an extra. He got the day rate. That's it. Also, my favorite thing, and I wrote it down, when they go to the subway, they got the sign right, the typeface and the line, the white line. But a subway sign does not just say the word subway. But
it looked pretty good.
It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
Yeah.
But they were like, where are we going? And there's just a sign that says subway with no other information. But
he would know how to get to that place. My thing was, it was so cute when she said her hot dogs allowed on the train. That is a good question, and I think that's fine. She said she was in New York twice, one for the Bengals, which we saw, and one because they were trying to go shopping, and Lorelai couldn't find parking, so she left, which is also very true, and I'm sure has happened to everyone who tried to drive in.
Yes.
Yeah. But the other thing is he's taking a subway for 15 blocks. Thoughts on that, Carrie?
Do not do it. You can walk that. Don't be a lazy poo-poo. He did it to impress her.
It's more fun to walk.
It's more fun to walk. And I don't ever remember a time in New York City where anyone thought the subway fare was reasonable.
Right.
Ever. Whatever it is, it's too much. So you wouldn't just jump on the subway for 15 blocks.
Especially because obviously he's paying for her, because she didn't even like look for her wallet when she ordered that hot dog.
No. Nope.
So he's paying. With their child money, she's going to take her mom to a dinner after the graduation. And with his child money, well, he at least had a job at Walmart and Luke's and stuff. So he's got
Where is Rory getting her money, though? Because she had the money for the bus tickets and the money for dinner for Lorelai.
Well, Grandpa did give her a couple of envelopes for the birthday. So maybe they're, maybe she's getting envelopes from a few places, like birthday money, stuff like that.
You don't think she's selling heroin?
I
think there's some deleted scenes. There's deleted scenes of Rory.
There are deleted scenes, and I do want to get into those deleted scenes at some point.
Okay, because a lot of them are about the secret heroin. But yes, those are I loved Washington Square Park. I loved the subway. I love the realism of the hot dog guy. I love everything about this scene, except that Rory has gone berserk.
I kind of love that about her also, because in the last episode, she was warning everybody. She's like, I was responsible also. I think what she was saying, and this is, beneath the surface of a lot of people, because you're living in it, in hindsight, it's very, very easy. She was basically saying, hey, I'm into what he's into. So I'm a bad girl too. And if you don't start paying attention, I'm going to do it anyway. You should see this coming. I'm not going to, and I'm going to be just as surprised as I was at the end of this episode. I think, that's the alert when teenagers start going start reacting to certain things. I feel like everyone starts pushing back, but they're saying things that we already know. Something, I can't figure it out. It's happening, and it's all pissing me off.
Yeah, but also he's the only one who was there that night of the accident.
Yeah.
He's the only one who agrees with her that it wasn't 100% his. He's the only one who doesn't hate Jess.
Well, him and Luke.
That's what so
Oh,
Luke
yeah.
and Jess are like her only realistic allies at this point.
And at this point, it's the only people that she speaks very at peace when she's around them.
Openly. Yeah, she's very much herself.
Yeah, her banter is easier. She's naturally sweeter, but not like saccharine. It's her and Lane also.
Yeah, but these are the people that she's herself with, and her mom.
Yeah, it's very, very sweet.
Right.
Yeah. So before we get to the graduation, which I believe, like, although we had these scenes that were like, what is this about? Now that you mention how they're just trying to get us to see certain things, I'm actually loving the little scenes, and I can't wait to get to the graduation. But I want to thanks to all of those sharing this show with other Gilmore communities, because we love having new Gilmore friends. Thank you for spreading the word. It really helps the show grow, and it helps other Gilmore people reach these episodes and stuff, so we can keep discussing it. And we already turned Carrie into one of us, so let's get everyone else. One of us. She said wow after this episode.
Oh my God, you're so easy to please. Jiminy Crickets. I'm going to exclaim Jiminy Crickets at the end of every episode now. Just because it delights you.
Well, because a lot of episodes you're like, what? And you're just so upset. And this one you were like, wow. And you teared up. All right, let's get into it. Graduation. I named this section, oh, hey, Emily and Raul. I love how they introduced Emily into Lorelai's realization that her mother is there. She thinks she sees her mom.
Yes.
I thought they were going to wait to reveal that to her. I thought she was just going to keep thinking that she saw her mom.
Yeah, I thought she wasn't going to see her mom until she was on stage and look out and then see her. I thought that might be the reveal. But no, they both got there early. Lorelai got there early to pick out the graduation cap and gown, which is not how I picked out my cap and gown. They just mail it to you.
Yeah, you get it ahead of time so you could like iron it or do whatever you want to the cap.
Yeah, and like you could tell the kids whose parents don't love them because theirs was wrinkly. And the parents who love you will like take it out the night before and like let it air out and like not be wrinkly.
Oh, I thought that you would do that for yourself. Did you do it?
I totally did it.
Of course you did. You were a latchkey kid.
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell the kids who opened it that morning. I'll just say that. Like most people knew to open it the night before.
I wouldn't have cared.
They warned us. The teachers told us to. They
were
like,
no, it's wrinkly. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then some kids just opened it that morning. And you were like, no.
Oh no. Yeah. Those kids
they're not
horrible.
reusable year to year. Who does that? That's disgusting. But anyway, that's how they do it in Connecticut. So Lorelai's picking out her cap and gown, which is disgusting to put on someone else's cap.
I didn't even think of that.
And she sees Emily walk by, and Emily's there early because she's setting up a camera crew. And we meet Raul, best extra. He gets lines. Is he somebody?
Ish. I have some information about him. Yeah.
I thought you might. We'll come back. I loved him. I think his lines are delivered with aplomb.
Yes.
And
he also screened his independent film as the sort of audition. Did you catch that?
Yes. He's
an
independent filmmaker. Did you catch the
name of the...
No. What was the name of it?
Welcome to Scabland.
Scab?
And then you think, did I just hear Scabland? And Emily goes, yeah, it was disgusting or something like that. And Raul goes, yeah, it was supposed to be disgusting. But that's how Emily picked Scabland. So it is what it sounds like.
I love it. See, Emily also has inner depth.
Inner depth.
So Lorelai confronts her, blah, blah, blah.
And Emily's being extra. She's being on 1,000.
She's
with the
up to
lighting.
1,000.
Can we do something about the lighting? Can we move things around? this is, intrusive and
But
and
Lorelai does what I would have done, which was like, I'm going to ignore this.
yeah.
This is not I can't with this right now.
And just when you say, I'm going to ignore you, Emily goes, you're going to redo your makeup later, aren't you? Yes, Mom.
Yes, Mom.
You are really just every
Yep.
time you know exactly what to say. So
Yep.
this is interesting that when we go back to Jess and Rory, they end up talking about the Go-Gos because I just said something to you on the last episode, I think, about the Go-Gos. And here they are. And I'm like, as I was saying to you in the last episode, I was like, why does the Go-Go's sound familiar in the Gilmore world? I hope I'm not spoiling anything. Why am I bringing up the Go-Go's? And here we
Major
are with the
spoiler.
Go-Go's.
Major spoiler. You got to
It must
watch
have been on
yourself.
my mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they go to like one of the cool record stores.
I noted that the record store guy looked like somebody also. Somebody had a cameo, and I think it's record store guy.
Yeah, he is some sort of like well-known jazz musician or something like that. Not jazz, I forget, but yeah, he's more of a musician who got like, because Amy Sherman Palladino just puts musicians everywhere,
right?
Because she's
He's
such
like
a fan.
Carole King.
Yeah,
he's like the male Carole King. Because I was like, he delivered the line a little too happy, but he explains who a band is. I think this scene is because Rory is still very much thinking of Lorelai, looking for a gift for her.
It was the perfect gift.
Perfect gift, and wouldn't Lane love this? And they still have banter. She's so relaxed. They have banter back and forth. They're so funny to each other.
And they're interesting to each other. They know the obscure music and the books and references of the
they're
different
being
authors.
playful.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he walks her back to Port Authority. And I thought, when they're hesitating before she gets on the bus, and I said, oh my God, are they going to kiss?
Yeah.
They looked at each other. They were hesitating. She was like, okay, bye. And he was like, okay, bye. Have a good trip. She was like, okay, I will. And they stand there. And I was like, no, 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 no.
I thought she was going to do it. I thought they were. Yeah.
They did not kiss, but.
Which was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she kissed Tristan that time.
But she didn't have a boyfriend when she kissed Tristan.
I know. And it was still wrong.
No, it wasn't. It was wrong because it's Tristan, but it's not wrong.
Yes. No, it's not wrong. You can kiss whoever you want. But
was appropriate.
It's wrong because it's Tristan.
Well,
so I was like, don't kiss him. Don't kiss him. Because it'll make you the bad guy if you kiss him. You know what I mean? Then you're a filthy cheater.
Well, no, look, to me, okay. Then you're more obviously the bad guy, but you're already the bad. You're already not going to tell Dean about this.
She's already emotionally cheating. I hear you.
The line has been crossed, and I actually like get a little annoyed with the distinction of now you cheated, but I get the difference between like physically crossing the line, but like something's happening,
but now,
and you're cheating me of my
if she doesn't kiss him, she can still have a clean break. If she kisses him, it makes it really not a clean break. And I've done this relationship many, many ways where you had a crush on someone else and then you broke up with someone and you got with the crush immediately. And it feels horrible because you were like emotionally cheating, even though you didn't physically cheat. And I've been dumped that way too, where know the other person was emotionally cheating before they broke up with you, even though they and like they both feel terrible, you know?
Yeah, I guess like break up when you realize it before you smooch. Yeah.
Ideally, right. Yeah. So I'm glad they didn't smooch because then you're like, oh, I got, So, but then she gets on the bus and he shouts something through the window and it was, why did you come?
Yeah, which is a good question, which is funny that, he waits until the last minute because people do. And but what's also funny is how easily she can just open a Greyhound window.
Yeah, you can't open a bus window.
Excuse me, what?
No.
Like, they are sealed do I just shut push here?
No, they're sealed shut with diarrhea. You can't open those. Like, that's not how that works at all.
You kind of don't want to touch anything. Although I've taken the, Philly to New York. It's not bad. The drivers drive really fast, which scares me, but it's not bad.
Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
I don't
The
know.
one I took to you, remember when I visited you?
Oh,
That was the worst
yeah.
one.
Okay, that
That
was
was
bad.
memorable for how bad it was, that trip.
Okay, that
That
was
was when I
bad.
got to your house and I was like, I think I literally smell like that bus. Rory made that
Yikes.
joke later, but that was only New York to Philly. That's only like an hour and a half, 2 hours, not even that long. And I got off that bus like I need a shower.
No, that does suck. I've
That
had some
bus
good
was,
experiences with that bus, but
yeah, no, that day,
yeah, yeah.
it depends on the bus
Mhm,
entirely.
mhm, mhm.
So,
Okay,
she goes, because you didn't say goodbye,
which was sweet.
right? And he goes, goodbye, Rory. And she goes, goodbye, Jess. And then he leaves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, goodbye. I thought it was a good reason you didn't say
Yeah,
goodbye because I was like, "Ooh, what would I say?" 'Cause I don't know, because I have these feelings that I don't want
right.
to
I
allow
wondered what
in.
she was
Because
going to say. Because,
right,
like, what could she say? She'd be like, I also don't know why I came.
right,
Like,
right. I don't
I am
know.
also confused
I'm
about the
about to
reason.
lose my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
So we get back to graduation. Did you get the Annie Hall reference?
No, what is it?
Okay, so she sneezes on chalk dust.
Yeah, that was so gross.
It was so gross. The Annie Hall reference is Woody Allen in Annie Hall has a flashback to doing cocaine in a party and he sneezes on it and it goes everywhere. And the joke is that
Oh.
he's a loser. So it was a cocaine joke
Oh my
from a movie.
goodness.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Um,
It took me a second because I was like, I know Annie Hall pretty well. What the hell did that mean? And I was like, oh, yeah, because he sneezes on the
huh.
coke.
Well,
Yeah.
that's funny because I was watching her, prop the mirror and everything, and I was like, "Ooh, the tricked out first aid kit would have been really great right here with its lighted mirror and whatever."
That's
And
right.
and then I thought she gave it to her not colleague, her the other student, the other graduate, but she just sneezed directly on it. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
It's so
so gross.
nasty.
I don't know. I guess it's worth the joke, but
So
it just
gross.
grossed me
Can we
out.
skip over the bickering couple?
Weird, right?
Yeah. Unnecessary.
Weirdly acted. I'm not blaming them. It just seems to be like they got directed by a different show? Question
Yeah.
mark. They just
Yeah.
they're bickering really oddly in a very odd tone. Like
Yeah.
I
And
don't
it's
know.
their only purpose. I hope these are not recurring characters, but their only purpose is to show that Emily is from money and that she is uncomfortable about that.
And how much they hate
Or
money,
Lorelai
but
is
like
from, yeah,
you just went to school to try to further your financial career.
right.
I
But
I get
she went to community college, so it's assumed everybody is broke. Rich people don't go to community
right,
college. So like it's easy to hate on rich people when you're at
right,
community college because the rich people go to Vassar, you know?
yeah.
So
So I think this is again the show hates rich people a lot. So
yeah.
this is just like, look what rich people do. They come in with their, what's the lighting in here? And here's my Raul, and I need
Yeah.
special things. And so I think this is what the show thinks of rich people. They're just
Yes.
obnoxious and we hate them. But I don't know. It's let
It's
people have
over the
money.
top.
What
I mean, it was
you're
over the top, especially because they
so weird.
just met Lorelai. This was not like an established friend of hers in
Right.
school. So like you just met someone like in the green room of the graduation and you're like, "Don't you hate rich people?" And then
And it
they're
was it was like, once again, we hate rich people. Oh, let's cut back to here and say, oh, rich people alert. It's like, I think we get
she's
it.
doing
And they
it
didn't
again, you
add,
know. And then
but
like but
it's what's
also
his face? It's MacFarlane that was
yeah,
the boyfriend.
Seth MacFarlane
Yeah.
was the guy. And I
Hmm.
was like, what, any particular reason? Or just because he's in the comedy world at this
I
point
do have some trivia there as
in the
well.
early 2000s, he was kind of doing everything. So, but also I would have confessed immediately when they were like, some idiot brought a film crew. I would have been like, oh my God, that's totally my mom. She's over the
Yeah.
top,
I
you
think if it
know?
was obvious that I heard that, I might, but also like none of your business. You're
Yeah.
just that's like That's
Also,
like
why are
saying,
you
"Oh,
talking to me?
I really hate Jews. Look, there are Jews out there." And it's like, why am I going to go like, "Oh, that's my mom."
Right.
Well, what kind of response do you want me to have? I'm
Right.
probably just going to keep quiet and let
Yeah, I would
you be
just
a
ignore you.
hater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, why are you talking to me? Why are you
Why do
talking to
you
me at
think
all?
everyone's going to co-sign on your stupid hate?
Yeah, this is why
Your
we needed
blind
smartphones.
rage.
We needed smartphones so that people didn't talk to each other. It's terrible. This is what we had to deal with, kids. Before there were smartphones, we had
Poor us.
stupid conversations like this. So, okay, then we cut back to the bus. The bus is not moving. Now, I have been Rory in this situation. My rule of thumb, and I say this to this day, and this is what I live by. You know that I say this every time we ever hang out or talk. If you need to be somewhere on time, do not get on a bus.
Well,
Almost any other form of transportation is more reliable than a bus.
well, this is very much not like Rory. So she doesn't know. Like usually she calculates. And even later she says something about yeah, this is kind of what I get when she says impulsivity definitely doesn't work for me. And it doesn't.
Right.
She's like, "Oh my God, I don't know the schedule. Oh my God, why are we stopping? Oh my God." Like,
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a local. I didn't realize it was
mhm.
an express. I didn't, she's not a good bus rider.
She's not Jess. Jess said, "I don't care, then I'll land somewhere else. Then it'll take me this long. Then I won't go to school." And she's like, "Well, don't you need to know everything that's going to happen in your life?"
Right.
And she does.
And she does.
So
And
now
she
she's
didn't.
panicking, which I would
Yeah.
too. Yeah, this
Oh
would
my
happen
God,
to
I would
me
be
because
sweating
I'm
bullets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been her. I've been on my
Yeah.
way to something on a bus that got stalled. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess I won't make it to Christmas dinner,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
if
she
you need
spent a
to be
lot
at
of
a
times in
specific
New York.
time, yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta leave like a 3-day buffer if you're taking the bus. Just go 3 days. Right? Like if you have to be at a concert, you leave an extra day because you're not making that concert.
There's also more rich things. The corsage I thought was extra.
The corsage was extra. But
Yeah,
also sweet. Like that's a gesture. If it
that's
wasn't
true.
in this context of like, oh, somebody's rich mom is is showing off, it's a
Um,
sweet thing to get your graduating daughter like a corsage.
yes, I just want you to pause and understand that I understand that that's a sweet thing and just hold on to the fact that I also do know that. But remember that my mother is the one that made me dress a certain way for my own graduation. If I'm not a corsage woman, then what I
Yes.
think is that you are trying to have the graduation that you want and
Yes.
not trying to. So it still aligns with, I will
Yes.
cram my way into your world and
Absolutely.
embarrass you and make you do the things that you feel uncomfortable when I should be celebrating you and sitting down and watching.
Absolutely. And
So,
both I believe from Emily's perspective, she was like, a graduating girl needs a corsage. Like,
of
I don't think she
course.
thought that hard about it. She wasn't like, I'm going to mold her to be, the Lorelai I want. But I hear your perspective too, where Lorelai's like, it's not my thing because corsages are not my thing. And
Yes,
she's making me do her thing,
and I understand that from both my mother and Emily's perspective, they are trying to give us the most opportunity and the most appropriate thing. You know who gets corsages in this case? The women who are valued and look good, and you get to have the opportunity to be that. Uh, my mother's trying to set me up into a good world by wearing the dress. It's the appropriate thing. You're not going to wear jeans like a commoner. No, you're
Uh-huh.
going to represent yourself and people will look up to you like the person that you need to be looked up to. Once again, that yes, in your world, yes. In your world, yes. And I'm not going to ask you to put on jeans and come into my world. But at the time, I was 17. I wanted to wear jeans. That would have made me feel like I accomplished something, that I can be an adult after all this time and
Uh-huh.
get to
Uh-huh.
decide what I look like on the day of my graduation. That's what would have made it a good graduation for me.
Yeah.
So what are you giving me here?
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Yeah.
Unfortunately, and again, I mean, I'm going to reiterate that I know everyone's intentions and I appreciate it.
No,
And
and every
that's why I don't fight with my mom anymore, because I'm
right.
like, You know what? I get it. I get your point of view. I'm going to sit in it because otherwise we're going to argue about 30 freaking years ago.
Like everything is subtext, right? So like giving someone flowers is like a nice thing to do, but what if a flower killed their aunt? You know what I mean?
Bees. Yeah.
Like
it all comes down to bees.
It's bees, right? What if flowers are there to attract the murder bees?
Yeah.
It's all context. It's
Perspective.
subtext.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm trying to think if my mom got me a corsage on my graduation day, I would have thought it was really stupid. I wouldn't have thought it was mean. I just would have thought it was corny.
Yeah,
I'd have
but
been
what
like,
if she
Mom,
insisted? Now, what if she insisted?
I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have done it.
Why? Because you're a rebel and a jerk and ungrateful? Is that
Probably.
why?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Well, then, look at you.
I'd be like, Mom, I'm not wearing that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'll wear it later at home.
Back talking.
Yeah, I would have
Carrie knows
backtalked her
everything.
so hard.
She graduated high school. I guess she knows everything. She knows how to behave.
Or I would have like put it in my hair or something. You know, like I would have like accepted it, but then done something rebellious with it.
Why?
I guess it's an earring now.
Why can't you just respect your mother? Just wear it. It makes her happy.
Yeah.
What's your
Anything
problem?
I do makes her happy. She loves me.
Is that what love is? That's interesting.
Okay. This has been therapy talk. It's good. So can we get to the graduation ceremony?
I want to get to it every day. What?
Oh, this destroyed me.
Yeah. And I'm not going to tear up this time because I just watched it to do the notes. And I just watched it with you to watch you. And I'm like, this is not going to get me. But then you started tearing and I'm like, oh, it's getting me.
It just knocked me out. And I'm also missing my mom. And it reminded me of my mom being proud of me at my graduation. It was so sweet. And Lorelai, I'm getting teary again. Lorelai realizes in real time, because the camera's following her, she's all embarrassed. She goes up there like all sheepish and embarrassed because there's like a boom mic there too.
And lights.
And lights. It's so ridiculous. And she's looking around and then she finds her mom and her mom is just so proud of her. And she finally smiles and she gets that moment. Oh, man.
And she gets taken aback. She was surprised.
Yeah.
And all three actors. If I could stand up and applaud to that, like you just want to let them know. Yes, they have enough letting people know. I get it. But it's just the way you could move another human being with your, wow, everybody. Yeah. Good job.
Lorelai, Emily, and Raul. Just all three of them nailed it.
Yeah, I wrote in capital letters their faces. Oh.
Yeah, it was some good face work and it really got me. And then I looked at you and it got you. And I was like, she's seen it before. So,
yeah,
it was a really special moment. And like Lorelai accepted that they were just proud of her. Like they were just happy for her.
It was a genuine moment for everyone. Sometimes in this show, they give us a genuine moment from one side and the other side smashes it, or the other side feels alone or abandoned, but one side is very happy. This, they gave us all at once, and I think it just does something. And then Richard gives her an envelope like he does when he's, and put it towards something fun, he says, and she says, "Thank you, Daddy." Now, the daddy thing.
I don't like the term daddy unless very narrow circumstances. Do I think the term daddy is appropriate?
I don't know one.
I mean, I think it would be.
Maybe when you're 5, I don't know.
Or like.
When you're a child.
When you're making fun of somebody. I don't even like that there's a product called Sponge Daddy. Do you know what I mean? I don't like it. I won't buy it.
Scrub Daddy.
Scrub Daddy, not Sponge Daddy.
I'm not a fan of the bedroom talk with Daddy in it.
Yeah, no,
that never.
I'm as BDSM as the next guy, but even in my wildest, craziest BDSM days, daddy was not in the lexicon.
I don't even want to think. Dad, daddy, father, nothing. No.
Yeah.
No.
But she says, thank you, daddy, to drive home to us, the audience, that she is feeling
Like their
taken care of.
child. Yeah.
She's feeling
taken
like a
care.
child. She's feeling childlike.
So there's another. So she says, thank you, mommy, when it was Lorelai, Rory going to her dance, and Emily was taking care of
Yeah.
Lorelai, and she says, thank you,
Yeah.
mommy. And that, for these scenes, it works because
I know.
But
this reminded me of the fashion show scene where Emily comes out smiling and just owning it.
yes.
This was sort of like that, where like Emily's just happy.
Yes. Both
And it makes us happy.
characters got
Yeah.
to have a time together.
So in this scene, as I'm welling up, I'm like, why aren't Emily and Richard wondering where Rory is?
I think
they know she'd be there.
I think they're so caught. I think you're right, but like I think it's okay to further this along by saying like it's all right that they're so flustered that they came to see the main person. They saw them and they're trying to get out of the community college situation as fast. Like they're back to being themselves. Like, okay, see you later. This is awkward. We showed emotion in public and towards our daughter. That's very uncomfortable. So that's how I saw it, as like we already said hi to Rory when she invited us, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. But Rory didn't show.
Yeah, we get that news from Sookie and Jackson.
Sookie was so sweet. That is how you tell people bad news. That is how you, and I love that, you know, there's boundaries crossed between Lorelai and Sookie, but I thought about it. These are not boundaries that they put on each other. They get into each other's lives because those are the boundaries of their close friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those is that she picks up her phone with no issue. Like, I don't know that that's everybody's boundary.
Well, she knew it was Rory.
Yeah.
And she knew that Rory was supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Rory's supposed to be there and she's not. And then the phone rings and it's Rory. So, of course, Sookie would pick it up.
Thought it was very sweet.
Yeah.
And even she was like, let's celebrate. She understood that Lorelai wants to go home to Rory and no one's taking anything personally. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I figured you would.
But I like what you said there. I thought you said something like, why don't they all go to Luke's like they always do? But one, she's not friends with Luke right now.
I know, but I thought they might make up by the end of this episode that they would end up at Luke's because there's nothing else to eat in town. And then he might say, I'm congratulations, I'm proud of you for the graduate or so. I thought this would be that bridge. Be the graduation ceremony. What? No,
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with you.
So I was hoping for that, a reconciliation, because we saw Luke earlier in the episode and he was cold.
True.
So I want a warming up Luke. I want to warm up Luke, you know what I'm saying?
And now I really like that there were a bunch of characters in for just a moment.
This is what I've been saying. I've been saying this from the beginning, where they put these chapters and they don't reference the other I want more episodes like this, where there's a little bit of everyone. Mm-hmm. So you're like, what happened to the other thing that happened 2 episodes ago? We never mentioned it again. I prefer it this way.
Last season, episode 21 was the finale, but this season, episode 22 is. So if that's not the finale, I wonder how many of the characters they're putting into that final scene.
I think it's going to be all hands on deck next episode too.
Okay, let's see.
I think it was almost a 2-parter finale because this was a big episode. So I think whatever they're scheming for episode 22 is gonna blow our minds. Well, your mind has been blown. But can we also just get to when Lorelai finally gets home? Rory is waiting for her on the step. Lorelai confirms that she's not sick or in trouble.
Love the way she did that. Let me just make sure that I'm not just getting mad and it's not the appropriate emotion here. Did something happen to you?
That's how I do things too. Where like if I haven't heard from someone and I was worried sick, I make sure they're okay and then they're fine. And then I'm like, what the hell? Where the hell were you? You know, which is what she does.
Yeah. And in an appropriate tone, I thought. Yeah. And then Rory becomes a person. And I loved everything she said. I have
Yo,
some of it. I cut school and I got on a bus and I don't even know why I did it. I must have got a stroke or something. Went to New York. I'm grounded. Went to New York to see Jess. Oh, and then she puts the Jess thing last. You got to take away my phone. I'm a horrible person. I'm sick. If I would write this in my diary, I would say, who is this? It's
yep,
not even my guy. Things like
yep.
that. She said, I was flighty, girly, dumb. I don't like the girly is in there because only, but whatever. I don't deserve breaths. I shouldn't breathe anymore. She basically sounds like every song. I
Yeah.
can't live if living is without you.
Yeah,
I lost my mind. I'm a
she's
fool for love.
yeah. Yeah. Um she grounds herself. She demands to be grounded. She
Mm-hmm.
wants boundaries, and nobody's giving her boundaries because she's had no repercussions from the accident. Everyone's blaming the other person. She hasn't had to explain herself. Nobody asked her for an explanation.
Well, she says, no, I love Dean forever. No, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's more about like, oh my God, I did everything that's not me, but like,
I think the two
Lord,
are tied together. I think they're tied together. That because she's just coming off of like everybody hates this person. I haven't had a comeuppance. I mean, she's self-inflicting it,
yeah.
like she's punishing herself for like how she feels that she was partly responsible for the accident.
Oh, I think she's punishing herself for um making Jess a priority when it should have been her mom that
Yeah. I
day and
mean,
her
yeah,
boyfriend in
that's the
general.
most that's the inciting incident, but I think there's lingering like she's losing her mind. But
Well,
if
she said,
if she had
Lorelai
made it
says, maybe you
if
don't have a medical condition or a mental problem. Maybe you're falling for Jess. Finally, someone sticks their head out of the ground.
yes, yes, and says what everyone knows.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think Rory would have ever told Lorelai that she went to New York City that day if she had made it to the graduation on time?
Where did she get the record from?
She
The
knows a guy.
gift.
If she was vague, I ordered it.
Yeah, maybe. I have my special ways because it's like a special thing or whatever.
Or like Lane found it for me, or
No,
whatever.
I don't think she would have told her because she didn't
Right,
remember. She didn't tell her. I'm remembering this now. She didn't tell her about Dean too, and that wasn't like any nefarious anything. She
right.
just she just needed to feel the feelings
Yeah, I
first, and
don't think
then
she ever planned to tell Lorelai that she had done this excursion. And
no.
so the fact that she missed the graduation, like it all just comes tumbling out
Mm-hmm.
and she's freaking out. And Lorelai is like trying to keep track of like what she's saying. And she's like, I think you like Jess. And she's like, no, I don't like him like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she forgot the gift on the bus, the perfect gift. Also, like signed by Belinda herself. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Forgetting the record on the bus was especially painful.
Yeah, it was the cherry. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I love the way she says, "I'm so so sorry, mom."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally,
And
at the end, she's like, I'm just so, so sorry. It was great acting. Oh my God, that's really how teenagers plead crazy. Like, she freaking nailed it. Did she get an
yeah.
Emmy for this?
I don't think so.
I gotta look that
I
up.
don't think so.
Because, like, that was the Emmy clip right there.
It
Unless
was
next
pretty
episode
good.
is even, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
she's going for it.
I loved it. I loved the writing. I loved the
Yep.
way she played it. I love when she got super upset. I loved her
Yep.
realization, but then putting herself back in the box, punishing herself. Um, and at the end just humbly just saying I'm so so sorry. And I like
Yeah.
that Lorelai was like, so does that mean I don't get to go out and celebrate? And Rory says I don't deserve it, and Lorelai says yeah but I do. And
Right. It's not about
I
you.
think that this can happen, that you can figure out how to celebrate anyway for a moment. We'll pick this up another time so that we can change the vibe, change what this day
Right.
will be.
But
Let's
also,
just
Lorelai needed a way to like it's effectively slapping her, where she's like, I need you to think about, because you've been so in your head the whole bus ride, you've been freaking out with this pent up like fear and like anxiety the whole bus ride. So like, snap out of it. We're going to dinner because like I did a thing today,
That's a good point. Yeah.
that, yeah, I felt for Rory so hard in the scene.
Yeah. And I do like the let me shower this off and then so the transition will happen a little bit smoother. So I could even smell like a new day.
I was still hoping, as the seconds were ticking down, I was still hoping they'd end up at Luke's. But then executive producer at Rolls, and I'm like, no, it ends.
Yeah, I don't like that you saw that there was only a few seconds left in the episode because they could have went to Luke's, but yeah. Yay.
Great episode.
That was season 2 episode
I wish
21.
they were all like, I mean, I love that everyone got a line in this. Truly.
Me too.
I always wish Luke had more lines.
That's funny. Oh.
Because I love Luke.
Oh. So confused in the beginning.
As the grown-up boys,
I
like Luke. As the teenage boys, I like Jess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you like the family, the uncle and the nephew.
I mean, there aren't a lot of guys. Well, yeah, I guess there are. Never mind. Yeah, I guess I like this family.
Mm-hmm.
They seem like authentic people.
Yeah, they're more down to earth than the flighty like
they seem unpretentious. I don't like pretension. Yeah. All right. Do you have some Seth MacFarlane trivia for me? I've heard.
So this is Lorelai's graduation, May 14th, 2002. So one of the things that I noticed is that the bus driver was reading a newspaper, and I was like, that looks like the New York Post. It looks real. So I was trying to see if this was an actual newspaper, and no, it was a prop. But here's what the search is getting wrong, and getting wrong often, because I had to check it and check it again. I'm like, this cannot be true. So My Night of Hell, the newspaper, if you do a light search, like what is this? What's this prop? It'll tell you that this is a newspaper that has been used across many, many shows, and the same picture of that. And then it lists the shows: Charmed, Desperate Housewives. I think I saw that it was on Seinfeld. And then when you look at the images of that, it's not the same newspaper. So that's where it goes wrong. But what I did find out is there is a newspaper that several shows have used that you can see pictures of, but it's the inside of the newspaper. And it's a prop newspaper that just got around and
That's so great.
Was on multiple. And it's now, this newspaper is being mistaken for that newspaper.
That's funny. Yeah. That's amazing.
And it was a prop manufactured by the Earl Hayes Press in California. I just thought that was fun, right? Like,
that is fun.
I had to ask the robot, tell me how this is not true, in order for it to stop agreeing with me that it's true and finding the same information. I was like, go find how it's not true. And then it was not true. So you noticed the Manhattan sequence was not actually Manhattan. And yes,
my eagle eye.
Yes. It was filmed on Warner Brothers. The thing is they talk about this. The show did not have a lot of money. And so
it's the same set. It's the same corner.
But to fly everyone out from California would have cost them, way too much.
But they didn't even do establishing footage or anything. You know what I mean? They didn't even do a stock image of like Lower Manhattan. They were just like, here we are in Lower Manhattan. And then it's literally the same corner. It's okay. But anyway, I hear it. It's fine.
I know. It's like, I'm sure that this happens with everybody's hometown, where it's like, no, that's not 4th Street, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the next thing is about Seth MacFarlane. He's the creator and voice actor of Family Guy, which I friggin' loved for a long time. You know, and I get that maybe it got old and childish and whatever, but for a while they were nailing a lot of things.
Yeah.
It was crude and it was whatever. But before Family Guy became huge is when this was. So Amy Sherman Palladino, the creator of Gilmore Girls, worked as a co-executive producer and writer in the early seasons of Family Guy. That's how they knew each other. Seth MacFarlane.
She was a writer on Family Guy?
I did not know that either.
That's wild.
The show at that time was struggling to get viewers. So MacFarlane was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." So they were just close. So there's your part. So maybe
That's
there
so
wasn't
cool.
supposed to be a bickering someone. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's who you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
now he can never do the show again, or he has to keep playing that character.
Maybe we did see other characters play two characters.
Like Sean
Summer.
Gunn, my
Uh,
boyfriend, Sean Gunn.
that's true. Yeah, he played two different
But now he's
characters.
named, now
Yes.
he's Kirk in every episode.
But Summer was a different character
Oh
at
yeah.
first. And
All right,
I
so
forget
maybe
if there was
Seth
one more.
MacFarlane will come back as like the donkey herder or something. Every show needs a donkey herder.
And my last thing is about Raul. So there's not like that much, but he's known as an actor and producer, known for Little Miss Sunshine in 2006, The Three Burials of Melquiades in Estrada in 2005, and Panic Room 1111. Panic Room 2002. So here's what I found interesting about like when looking through his IMDb or his bio or whatever. He did a voice on Family Guy this year, 2026,
Whoa.
which it's just funny that Family Guy was on this episode, and
Yeah.
it's
Did they meet on set? No.
that was this episode was out in 2002.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So
yeah.
they've maintained a friendship for 24 years.
Or he's just the guy for this kind of
He's just the
thing, you
guy.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and I think these are coincidences. Another coincidence is he was in Overboard, but the new one, the one that was in 2018. But Richard, the actor, was in the original Overboard as the husband who cheats on his wife and leaves her there.
Oh,
So
wow.
I just like those crossovers that are, to me, very much just a coincidence, but also everybody knows everybody. And if you notice, the same actors are like how SNL just keeps hiring each other, and there are groups and troops of people.
Yeah.
Like, how
Yeah.
do we
Of
keep
course.
having Adam Sandler and what's her face movies? The ET girl with
Drew
the lisp, yeah, Drew
Drew
Barrymore.
Barrymore.
It just seems like, yeah, sometimes people
Yeah,
like
well, if
working
you're
with each
friends with
other.
people you run in the friend, like if I was a movie producer, you'd probably be in a bunch of. I mean, I have a filmmaking friend, and Carrie kind of shows up in his movies.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
like you'd put it together. I feel like that's like, I don't know. Did you watch Shrinking by Bill Lawrence?
I am not caught up, but yes.
Okay, but it's a
Yeah.
bunch of the Scrubs people, because he's the like a lot of you
Oh, is it
recognize
Scrubs?
he was the Scrubs guy. So like when I see, because I was a Scrubs fan, and so I'm like, oh yeah, that guy from Scrubs, and like that, Krista Miller, she's from Scrubs. Like these are the friends,
I see when Judd Apatow is part of it. I'm like, oh, that's what like this. He likes these actors. This
right?
guy, and he likes his kids. His kids are in his stuff.
Literally his friends.
Right,
like they
right.
hang out.
Yeah.
They're like texting each other, like,
And
oh
you know
my
what you
god,
can
I just
expect
spilled
from
the
them.
pizza.
I know if I hire you, you're going to be there on time. You're going to do like what
That's right.
What you need to do. Yeah.
Hire Carrie for your movies. That's my takeaway.
That's
All
your
right.
prediction.
We are one episode away from the season finale. The whole going to New York thing was a total wrench. I suspected that Jess was coming back, so I got that one right. I suspected we had not heard or seen the last of Jess.
Does this count as coming back? Okay, yeah, not heard or seen the last of Jess. You're right about that. That's true.
Oh, you mean it only counts if he comes back to Stars Hollow?
Well, no, I just want to see what you mean.
And he's on screen again. Come on.
You're right.
You gotta
give
it to me.
Right,
all right.
Yes.
She's got to break up with Dean next episode. She's got to break up with Dean. I still think it's going to be a wedding. Oh, but we haven't had a lot of wedding talk recently,
Well, in this episode, they said that Jackson's suit is because it's his rehearsal dinner suit. It's his first real suit. Sookie said that.
Okay.
So they mentioned the rehearsal.
And we had the almond, the almonds versus aspirin
That's
talk.
true. Yes.
So obviously the wedding's still happening, but is it going to happen in the season finale? It should.
Okay.
It should. God, the Jess Dean situation. What's going to happen at the end of season 2? Lorelai and Luke have to make up. Them fighting is ridiculous. Somebody's going to kiss for the first time.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Not tomorrow. The next episode. I want to watch it tomorrow. Are you free tomorrow? We haven't scheduled our next session. Okay. It's got to be tomorrow. But we need okay. Jess,
so the wedding's going to happen. Somebody's going to kiss for the first time. And
somebody's got to kiss for the first time. We have not seen Jess kiss anyone, but I think, do Jess and Rory kiss for the first time, or do Luke and Lorelai kiss for the first time? I also suspect now that it's been 2 seasons, we're going to get a will they, won't they for the entire series for Luke and Lorelai. Maybe they don't hook up. I might be revising my prediction because that was an early season 1 prediction.
Okay.
I still think they like each other, but they keep missing each other in the night. But they got to make up tomorrow. I don't think they're going to make up with a kiss, though. That's too much, right? But they make up. Lorelai cries on the next episode. I'm putting my money on. I'm putting my what do we call it? Bets. The calcium bets. Kelsey.
I don't
know. There's going to be some Lorelai tears.
Okay.
Next episode.
Who or what will make her cry?
I think Luke makes her cry.
Okay.
Possibly Rory. Rory's.
But now you're saying everything.
I know. But Rory's losing her mind. Okay. So I have to put it together though. Like I honestly
final predictions. You said wedding's gonna happen. Okay. In the next episode, you said. Okay.
Season finale wedding.
And you said someone's gonna kiss for the first time.
Someone's gonna kiss for the first time, and
Dean and Rory are gonna break up.
Rory and Dean have to break up.
Okay.
Next episode.
Okay.
And Richard gets shot.
In
the shoulder.
Club. Oh. I see. Okay, with the candlestick?
Yes. Okay. And then he keeps going like it didn't happen, you know?
Oh, you all, this one more episode for this season, and then we're going to do a special wrap-up episode that's only going to be streamed on YouTube, and then we'll see where we'll put that. But the last one was so much fun, so join the live stream. How do you join the live? How do you join the live stream? You subscribe on YouTube,
My
and
guess
YouTube
is
lets
you subscribe.
What? How do you know that? What? Everybody knows that.
I will say though that when this airs, aren't we doing the live stream this coming Friday?
No, we're waiting until we record until we release the final one.
I'm saying by the time this airs, we'll be doing it on that Friday.
The next.
So this will air.
I'm getting a thumbs up. So the math that I'm right. The Friday after that.
The Friday after this airs.
Don't worry about it. Subscribe on YouTube.
You got to subscribe. You got to subscribe. We'll figure it out.
We're wrapping up shows here. We're wrapping up full
seasons. Join us next
seasons.
time, you guys. Thanks for listening. See you for the finale. Bye.